अजय बाबू
नमस्कार, शुभ संध्या. On behalf of Vivekananda Kendra, Vivekananda Kendra Academy for Indian Culture, Yoga and Management, on behalf of Vivekananda Kendra and Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari Bhubaneswar branch family, and myself, I offer you a special heartfelt greetings and welcome to you all in the second webinar on yoga. Before starting the program, let me start with Santi mantra. We'll start three Omkara. After that, we'll follow by Sana Otma. So take a deep breath in. Sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sahavidyam karavavahe tejasvinam vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari is a spiritually oriented service mission. Is working with the aim of man making and nation building since 1972 through more than 800 branches and activity centers spread across the country. The Kendra has a center in Bhubaneswar. We have Bhubaneswar since 1987. And Vivekananda Kendra Academy of Indian Culture, Yoga and Management, VKICOM, Bhubaneswar is a project of Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari, envisages activity in the field of Indian culture, yoga and management to contribute the global mission of India. Every year we are celebrating International Yoga Day. This year also we are celebrating the International Yoga Day, and this is the second day webinar of yoga. And why yoga is an essential need of today requires no clarification. Yoga brings harmony in all walks of life and is known for disease management and promotion of health and other lifestyle diseases also. Yesterday evening in the webinar, we discussed on the topic yoga in pandemic situation. The focus of yoga should not towards health only. It is more than that. We are neglecting the importance of yoga for being a good human being. And Swami Vivekananda, a great yogi himself, was instrumental in the introducing yoga to the world. He described yoga as a practice that joins a human to reality or God. He said, the science of yoga is to bring out the perfect man. Today evening, our topic is yoga, a path towards man making. Let me introduce our speaker, Mananiya Sri Hanumat Raoji. Mananiya Sri Hanumat Raoji, born in Hyderabad, was associated and influenced by Swami Ranganathaji, the then president of that Ramakrishna Matta, to dedicate his life for the service of nation. After he joined Vivekananda Kendra in 1982 as a life worker, he has held many responsibilities in the organization, starting from being the full-time workers training in charge in headquarters of Kanyakumari headquarters, to various organizations roles in Chennai, Andaman Nicobar, Iceland, and Tamil Nadu. Presently, she is the All India Vice President of Vivekananda Rock Memorial and Vivekananda Kanyakumari. His deep study and insight into our Shastras, including Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Sutra, and Upanishads, are worth contemplation. Under his supervision, the Kendra is conducting various yoga camps, yoga activities, yoga certificate course, and annual yoga shastra Sangam in Kanyakumari. Now request Mananiya Sri Hanumat Raoji to deliver his talk on yoga, a path towards man making. Over to you, Hanuji.
स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। पवित्रं चरितं यस्याः पवित्रं जीवनं तथा पवित्रतास्वरूपिण्यै तस्यै देव्यै नमो नमः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। So namaste to everybody, one and all. We are here to share some thoughts, ideas, and also how to fashion, how to transform, how to make ourselves what we are really. To know and to practice how we can change. Yes, I will repeat, how we can change, how we can transform, how we can mold, and how we can understand what we are really. And that is what is man making. A beautiful word coined by Swami Vivekananda it is. Fashioning the man, transforming the man, changing the man. This is what beautifully Vivekananda has coined it. And today's most relevant idea, topic in front of us is how yoga is a path, how yoga changes us, how yoga transforms us. And that is how the yogic methods, the science of yoga, the art of yoga, the technology of yoga, the methodology of yoga, the practice of yoga, and what yoga is. It will not be a surprise, but it will be a discovery that how Maharshi Patanjali in his Yoga Darshanam, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he elaborates, he hints, he points out how to transform and what actually transformation means what. And that is what the basics of understanding man-making lies. I shall take few minutes in trying to understand, point out what is man-making. What do we mean when we say man-making? When we say we are a human being, we are man, we are men, or we are human beings, what do we refer? We refer our physical structure, our physical being, physically which can be felt, observed, our physical weight, and our physical expressions, our bodily functions, bodily expressions. Yes, our body weight, our hands, our legs, our physical features. This is one part of ourself. And there is another part of ourself, is our mind, our thinking, our emotions, our behavior, our attitudes, our decisions, our conclusions. Please remember, our conclusions, our beliefs, our attitudes, our thoughts, quality of thoughts, direction of thinking, basis of thinking, basis of attitudes, our basics of our being. That is another part. When we say we are, I am, we mean both. We won't separate the both. In fact, what we are, what we refer, what we address, I am, we, man, is more than the physical. It is more than the body. What we generally refer as our inner content. Our inner content. What I am inside. What I am inside is my beliefs. Yes, my thoughts. Which are the foundations. In fact, all our physical expressions, all our physical manifestations are all expressions of our inner thoughts. Yes, our thoughts are subtler, expressions are gross. The way we see, the way we talk, the way we behave, the way we express ourselves, our body language, the way we walk, what we eat, the way we eat, the way we drink, what we drink, all our choices in the life, all our transactions in the life, all our communications in the life, all our relationships in the life, all our attitudes in the life. Yes, all our choices in the life, they are driven, they are forced, they are fueled, they are based, and they are driven, they are based, they are pushed. In fact, they are very secondary by the force of our thought, the force of our emotions. So our thoughts, our emotions, our conclusions, our decisions, our attitudes, our beliefs, that defines, that delivers, that expresses through our body. So when we say personality, means both. In fact, more than our body, more than our physical features. And when we say man making, means a change, an alteration, a transformation of all what we are inside and all what we are outside. What is seen in the world, what is not seen in the world. Yes, in more deeper, what is shown to the world, what is not shown to the world. What is expressed to the world, what is not expressed to the world. Now, what is man making? This is where the definition of man making comes. The definition of man making is what is shown outside should be what I am inside. What I express outside should be what I am inside. What I am inside is defined by my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, my conclusions, my attitudes, my perceptions. Yes. And my perceptions, my conclusions, my decisions, my attitudes, they come out. And please remember, if the same things come out in regular intervals, if there is no change, yes, if there is no change, and they keep expressing, coming out, deliberating outside, and in a specific form, specific timings, then we call it as habits. So habits are part of our personality, which are the physical expressions of our psychological foundations, our mannerisms, physical mannerisms, psychological mannerisms have their basic foundations. They are based on our culture, our beliefs, our tradition, cultural mannerisms, spiritual mannerisms, religious mannerisms. All these things put together is combined as personality. It's very important to understand. Man-making means changing our personality. Changing our personality means to bring out a qualitative, value-based change in all these dimensions. Yes. To bring a value-based qualitative change, significant change, a significant alteration in all these dimensions. That is man-making. It is not just changing our thoughts. The quality of thinking, the direction of thinking, the purpose of thinking, the meaning of thinking, the goal of thinking. Similarly, emotions, the purpose of emotions, the direction of emotions, the meaning of the emotions, everything. That bringing out an alteration, a change. That is man-making. And slowly we should also come back. This change, this alteration, this transformation is towards something which is positive and constructive. Yes, it is towards positive and constructive. And when it is positive and constructive means what? What do we say it is positive and constructive? It is positive and constructive only with underlining if it is beneficial and useful to all beings with whom I transact, with all beings with whom I live in this world. Bharatiya Hindu Sanatana Dharma Samskriti, Bharatiya Hindu Sanatana Rishi Samskriti, Bharatiya Hindu Sanatana Vaidika Sampradaya lays down a basic principle that a human being is part of creation. A human being is a part of a chain of creation. It is not a separated being. They are part of the whole thing. That's why a beautiful saying of the Sanskriti is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam it is called. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Whole world is a family. Now see, there is a need to expand our concept of family. Yes. There is a need to expand our concept of relationship. There is a need to expand the concept of our behavior. This expansion of the concepts, expansion of our perceptions from a limited of myself to all that with which I transact, that is man-making. Yes, that is man-making. So there is expansion of personality. There is an expansion of our perception. then expansion of our behavior. And this expansion is what I used in the before, that for the benefit of all beings. I am repeating all beings means it is not only limited to the human beings. It is also limited to the non-human beings, the birds, the animals, the trees. No, even to all the Panchabhutas, the water, the rivers, the earth, and all the materials with which we handle our life, all the tools with which we handle our life, all that is useful for my daily working, all that which is beneficial and useful for my, yes, not only daily working, for all my expressions in the world. Thought, relationships and concept and the perceptions, all these things are part of man-making. We have a beautiful sutra because our topic is yoga is a path. Please remember, let us have a conviction. There cannot be any other path. Yoga can only be the path, and yoga is the only path which can expand our personality and define, fashion our personality, which is man-making. And in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the first chapter, the Samadhi Pada, Maharshi Patanjali beautifully lays down the principle. He tells wonderfully. He says, the entire confusion in this world is, entire mistake in this world is, I could not understand what I am. I failed to recognize myself. My inability to realize my real nature. This inability, my fail in recognizing myself, my mistake in not understanding myself, because of, Patanjali Yoga puts it, because of vrittis. Vrittis are the cause for my all confusion. And removing these vrittis is the path of yoga. And removing the vrittis is the man-making. Yes, it is the man-making. It's not new. It is not something new. It is only a new understanding. Chitta vritti nirodha is man-making. Chitta vritti nirodha is yoga. Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha it is. And permit me to use man-making or manushya nirmanaha is chitta vritti nirodha. Why? When these transactions have come up, when these wrong perceptions are there, when wrong concepts are there, wrong understandings are there, wrong relationships are there, the wrong meanings in the relationships, the wrong understandings in the concepts are there, which is because of the vrittis. And if it is not there, what I am, Maharshi Patanjali says, when it is not there, tada drashtuhu swarupeva sthanam, he calls it. Hey, when it is not there, you are real being. You are what you are. What I am without all this is I am the real man it is. That was my real personality. Swarupe avasthanam. Swarupaha it is. Avasthanam. I am established in that. And how to connect with that? That process of connecting what I am, that process of expressing what I am, really, and removing these wrong perceptions, removing these wrong concepts, which is because of the chittavrittis. Hope you are following me. Chittavrittis are not the cause of confusions. Chittavrittis are the confusions. All wrong perceptions, wrong relationships, wrong understandings. And Chittavritti Nirodha is not only yoga, Chittavritti Nirodha is yoga, and it is the man-making. And when all Chittavrittis are not there, Sarupeva Sthanam it is. So that freedom, to be free from all these wrongdoings, all wrong concepts, free from the Chittavrittis. That's what Swami Vivekananda, yes, a modern eras, Patanjali he is, yes. Nava Patanjali he is, Nava Yuga Patanjali he is. And what he says? Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. By work or worship, by philosophy or psychic control, by one or more or all of this, and be free. See the beauty there? That freedom is to be brought out, can be brought out, can only be brought out by 4 methods. We might have, or we may be terming as Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Raja Yoga. And all these things, yoga is the common. And that yoga is free from all this. And that freedom from our thinking, freedom from our web of thinking, freedom from the upsurges of emotions, ups and downs of emotions, freedom from the catching of the emotions, freedom from the bondage of emotions, freedom from the violent emotions. Yes, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsaras. Free from that. Freedom from these emotions, but being with the emotions which are softer emotions, sattvic emotions. So free from something and get attached to something. This is man-making process. From what we should detach to what we should attach. This is process of man-making. And that is how Maharshi Patanjali slowly takes us how this process of detachment is to be done, how the process of attachment is to be done. Very important point, let us not miss it. From what we should detach to which we should attach. Unplugging and plugging. Unplug and plug. And this unplugging and plugging is very important. And how it is to be done? Patanjali, yes, Maharshi Patanjali, same Yoga Sutras, first chapter, 12th Sutra it is. Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Vatan Nirodha he calls it. Abhyasa and Vairagya he calls it. Practice and detachment. Very beautiful. Yoga is the path. Practice. And what is Abhyasa? Generally, Abhyasa means practice, practice, practice. We keep on saying. But what is practice? Beautifully, Patanjali again gives in the immediate, this next sutra. Sutra 12 is Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha. And the 13th sutra is definition of Abhyasa. The process of man-making is a continuous, stable practice it is. Tatra sthitau yatnau abhyasaha. Continuously practicing. Continuously practicing what? A constant effort to transform our direction of thinking. Yes, a constant effort in changing our line of thinking, a constant effort to change our meaning and purpose of our emotions, a constant effort to change our way of thinking, purpose of thinking, quality of thinking. If it is a thought level, and at the emotion level, a constant effort is made in changing our emotions, violent emotions, selfish emotions, individual emotions. They are transformed. Change it to wide-ranging emotions. Yes. Those emotions which bring out those emotions which enhance, those emotions which will bring out my ahankaram, my ego, those emotions which will force my ego outwards. Yes, all such emotions, all such commitments, all such relationships. If I am related to somebody, if I am developing a friendship with somebody by which my ahankara is increasing, cut that. A particular thought, if my association with something, if my association and attachment with something, somebody, some thought is enhancing my violent thought of thinking, my violent emotions, cut it, reduce it. That making an effort, abhyasa, and that effort has to be consistent effort, stabilized effort. Abhyasa, yatna, sthita yatna it is called. And that practice has to be dirgha it is. Satu dirgha kala nairantarya satkar sevita dridabhumi. Beautiful it is. Man-making process is not that easy. I always used to say, if there is a fracture in the hand, if a collarbone is fractured, hand is fractured, say leg is fractured, a doctor is there, orthopedic surgeon, go to a hospital, some surgery is done, and say 21 days or 3 months, 6 months, hand will be all right. We can almost assure in 3 months, 3 weeks, 1 month, or 2 weeks, that body which was fractured, that body part which was dislocated, can be re-put. It can be relocated, re-established. We can assure. There is a timeline. But please remember, if our thoughts are fractured, if the emotions are fractured, if our emotions are dislocated, thoughts are dislocated, thoughts are in wrong direction, emotions are in wrong direction, there is no timeline for it. We cannot assure 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It is a long practice. Satu dirghakala nairantarya satkara sevita dridabhumihi, Patanjali says it. Handling our mind, changing our mind, transforming our process of thinking, altering our process of emotions, quality of emotions. It's not an easy part. And Maharishi Patanjali tells it. It should be dirghakalya, for a long process, long time. And nairantarya it is, no break. And satkar sevita. How it is to be done? It is to be done with nicely. The approach of the practice should be very softer, smoother, in a non-violent manner. And that is a very important dimension. See the beautiful tips given by Maharshi Patanjali to change ourselves, to transform ourselves. And that is how Patanjali goes further. And this developing the mental attitudes. What type of attitude we have to develop for the changing of transforming ourselves? Please remember, we should not forget, man making means changing ourselves. And changing ourselves means changing our attitudes, which I have repeated in the beginning regularly. And what type of attitude should come? What type of qualities we should develop? What are the guna we should develop? The qualities, the attitudes, the concepts, and the perceptions, and the emotions we should develop. What should be developed? Maharshi Patanjali defines. In fact, he lays the foundation. He tells it. Develop the quality of Maitri, Karuna, Mudita. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita it is. What a wonderful, what a fantastic it is. Develop the quality of Mitrata it is. Friendship. Karuna it is. Compassion. How important it is. Man making means developing these qualities at the emotional level. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, cheerfulness. It's not easy. When there are challenging situations, difficult situations, tough situations, testing times, crisis times, corner times, when our ego is hurt, when the insults are there, at that time, Mudita, be cheerful. And that which was cause for that, have karuna on that. Be compassionate on that. And have friendship with that. What a beautiful dimension it is. That which is causing a problem to me, that which is responsible for my problem, difficulty. And Maharshi Patanjali says, you develop compassion towards it. Be cheerful towards it. Develop friendship towards it. And who can develop it? Only a man can develop it. That is man making. Just reacting is not man making. Bearing, capacity to bear, capacity to accept it, and responding in a most matured way. That is a manly way of expression. And that is called upeksha, it is called. Maitri Karunam Udeta Upeksha. Ignore. What is to be ignored? Dukkha and apunya. Yes. Those things which bring us difficulties, insults, which are all apunyas, dukkha, challenges, crisis. He says ignore and develop strength. And be attached to that which is more positive. Almost more than, people say, more than 10,000 years. Maharshi Patanjali is pointing to us what should be our response in challenging situations. In this pandemic situation presently, in which we are undergoing the crisis, he says ignore it. Develop the inner strength. Inner immunity. Upekshana. Be cheerful. Is it not man-making? Only yoga can bring that. And what he says? Chitta prasadanam. That only brings quietness and happiness. That alone brings chitta prasadanam. Quietness in the mind. And Beautiful dimension Maharshi Patanjali gives it. Be free from these attacks and attachments of the sukha and the dukkha. Rise, let us rise above for this. From the raga dvesha, it calls it. Sukhanushayi ragaha, dukkhanushayi dveshaha, he calls it. In the second chapter, 7th sutra and the 8th sutra it is. Attachment with pleasure brings liking and raga it is. Attachment towards dukkha is the dvesha, he calls it. Hatred. We should rise. Man making is rising above likes and dislikes. Man making is a process of not getting attached to the likes and dislikes. And this is an important dimension of man making. Performing one's duties, performing one's responsibilities, delivering one's duties, delivering one's responsibilities, kartavyam, kartavyata nishtha, beyond raga and dvesha, what Maharshi Patanjali puts it. And that getting detached from the raga, getting detached from the dvesha is not to crave for sukha. Yes, not to crave for sukha. That which gives me sukha, don't crave for it. Don't crave for pleasures. Don't hate dislike. Don't hate dukkha it is. Accept dukkha. Accept the pleasure. That is the yoga way of managing ourselves. That is not just mind management. That is man management. Man making it is. And this, beyond of sukha dukkhas, is beautiful practice. And we have wonderful practices in yoga. At the physical level, we have beautiful practices. The practice of asanas, tremendously. Practice of asanas not only stabilizes the body, sthira sukham asanam. It not just stabilizes the body, it stabilizes our thinking, stabilizes our emotions, stabilizes our concepts, stabilizes our perceptions. Stability is brought in our life by the practice of asanas. Sthiram, sukham, asanam, he calls it. What a wonderful. It is not just a definition of yoga. It is also the benefit of yoga. Not only just by the practice of asana it is. It is the benefit of asana reflected. The benefit of asana is experienced not only physically, even at the emotional levels, even our attitude levels, even at our thinking levels, even at our perception levels. Sthiram and sukham it is. And unless there is stability in the mind, yes, there cannot be sukha, joy and happiness. Sthiram brings sukham. Sthiram is the base of sukham. And that is the process of man making, I tell you. Be stable. And the stability is brought by asanas. And that is yoga. Stability is the effect of asanas, result of the asanas. And that's why by practicing the asanas, it was always said, it should be dirghakala. Maintain the asanas for a long duration and practice the asanas without break. Nairantariya it is. And that is the process of man making. And yoga, that is the path. And that alone is the path. As I have told in the beginning, there is no other path, there is no other method. So asana brings stability. Asana brings joy. And then we have a wonderful practice of pranayama. You know what Maharshi Patanjali tells? The benefit of pranayama, the result of pranayama, it helps developing of focusing, he calls it. Ekagrata he comes. Dharana sucha yogyata manaha he calls it. Mind becomes capable for focusing. See how yoga is helping? How yoga is the path? Focusing our thinking, focusing our emotions, focusing our attitudes, focusing our concepts, focusing our activities, focusing our work. Pranayama brings it. Asana stabilizes. And Dirghakala Nairantarya practice of the asana, Dirghakala Nairantarya practice of the pranayama focuses our activities. This focusing, very important. Ekagrata it is. Focusing our personality is the process of man-making. Focusing our attitudes, focusing our choices, focusing our desires, focusing our relationships, focusing our choices. Focus, focus, focus. Ekagrata, ekagrata, ekagrata. Eka agra it is called. One point it is, just one point. And the entire life is focused on one point. One idea it is. That is man-making it is. And what happens? Tasya, third chapter of the Yoga Sutras, Maharshi Patanjali's third chapter, that is the third pada, Vibhuti pada. 10th sutra is Prashanta Vahita Samskaras, he calls it. What a wonderful it is. Prashanta Vahita Samskaras. But the practice of yoga, I have taken Yamaniyamas are part out of it. I am emphasizing asanas and the pranayama. And what is the benefit it gives it? Tasya prashanta vahita samskaras. The tendencies, the samskaras in us, prashanta vahita it is. They flow smooth, soft to flow. The rush of emotions, the force of emotions, the pressure of emotions, that will not be there. Violence is gone. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsaras, which are the fast and speed expressions of our fast mind. Kama, Krodhodhavam, Vegham. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Kama, Krodhodhavam, Vegam, he calls it. Kama, Krodha are the outcome of Vegamana it is. When the mind is speed mind's expressions are Kama, Krodha, Moha, Madamatsaras. And practice of yoga reduces that speed. Man-making it is. Emotional outbursts will not be there. There will be a control on the emotions. There will be a mastery over our thinking. Bhavana samyogaha it is. Bhava udreka will not be there. Bhava udvignata will not be there. Bhava samyama will be there. Bhava niyantrana will be there. That is man-making. Yoga brings it. Yoga breeds it. Prashanta vahita samskaraha. Vibhuti pada, 10th sutra it is. Prashanta vahita it is. Calmness, serenity, quietude, relaxation. That is brought. And what is the outcome? We should never forget, this is a very important dimension. And as I have begun saying it, that focusing of our life, that we are part of the creation, we are part of the society, we are not inseparable individual broken parts. Giving our comforts, sharing our difficulties. In fact, it's a very beautiful. That is tapas actually. That is man-making. Tapas is man-making it is. It is a path. And facing difficulties, accepting difficulties, undergoing difficulties, inviting difficulties for the benefit of others. If I am put under difficulty, and because of my putting into difficulty, other person is relieved from difficulty. Put yourself in difficulty. Accept the difficulty. Offering a chair in a rush bus to the needy, sharing our comforts with others. And this is the important dimension. Reducing our comfort levels, sharing our comforts with the others, taking up others' difficulties on us, and giving our space to the others, occupying, entering into others' difficulties by becoming a contributor to the solutions. This is process of man making. In fact, this is the need of the hour. What we say as service, seva it is. Seva is man making. Seva yoga it is. Where we offer, we contribute, we are available every time at the service of the others. Means what? All our time and energy, all our body and the mind, all the time and the energy of the body, all the time and energy of the mind is available for the benefit, for the comfort of others. In that others we should include not only human beings, but the entire world. This transformation and the changing of our personality is man-making. And that is how yoga, not just Ashtanga yoga, not just Yamaniyamas, not just Asana Pranayama, entire complete transformation is that Chitta Vritti Nirodha it is. Freedom. And that is the dimension which Swami Vivekananda presents in this beautiful, the most comprehensive and wholesome and holistic definition of yoga it is. Each soul is potentially divine. I repeat, most wholesome, most holistic, and most comprehensive definition of yoga it is. Freedom from the clutches of selfishness, freedom from the clutches of ego, and available for the benefit and the comfort of everybody. And this process of man-making is what Swami Vivekananda wanted when he said, and this man-making is for the nation building, of course. And yoga alone is the path. And with this, few points which I felt which are important in understanding dimension of yoga and importance of man-making, its role in man-making, and it is the only role in man-making, and to change ourselves, transform ourselves. We pray, let us pray to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda, to give us that strength and courage to give up our comforts and lay down our lives for the benefit of the others, which is the real yoga, Chitta Vritti Nirodha it is. And that conviction and strength, let us pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, of course, the land of Jai Jagannath, and with his Ashirwads, let us move forward and continue our journey in changing ourselves in the process of man making. Namaste. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Hanuji. Your views and thoughts definitely inspire viewers to see yoga as a path towards man making, actually, which is the need of the global era now. And you have mentioned so many things about in Patanjali Yoga Sutra about our Bharatiya Sanskriti, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and how to refine a personality. You have mentioned very well, and you have mentioned how the entire confusion in the world because due to we could not understand ourselves, and Briti is at the cause of our problems. You have mentioned, and Chitta Vritti Nirodha is man making. They are very well coordinate the yoga of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra with man making, and you have also mentioned Tadadrushta Surupya Avasthanam. And you have also said about how to get freedom from negative thoughts, negative emotion, and where we should attach, where we should detach. We have to practice the abhyasa. You have mentioned the sutra also. So constant effort to change our direction of our thinking is necessary to change ourselves. And you have also said that it's not so easy. It's not so easy path to change ourselves. So that's why we need constant practice. Abhyasa that you have mentioned. Tatra sthita jatna abhyasa. You have mentioned how to develop the qualities, the Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha, and also the Chitta Prasadana to develop the inner strength of us. And also, you have mentioned about Sukha Nisha Raga, Dukha Nisha Desha. And your last line, you said, yoga is not only mind, it's not only mind management, but also it's a man making. And it is only the path for man making. And you also quote very good about Swami Vivekananda quote, and you say he is the Nava Patanjali. Each soul has potential divine. You have mentioned about how yogas and pranayam are helping us and focusing our personality by using this technique of not only yama niyama, other aspect also you have mentioned that how to change your sanskar. And not only this one, that also you have mentioned tapas or man making, which helpful making. Shiva Jogo also is man making. Thank you. Thank you for your inspiring lecture today. Now it is time to conclude. So I am requesting Professor Nirmal Chandra Das Sarj, who is our VKICOM committee member, to give both of thanks.
Thank you, Ajay Babu. Really, I have heard many times Hanuman Rao ji. His talk today is really inspiring. It has a mesmerizing effect on the mind and body. And the topic Ajay Babu has selected, that yoga as a man making, he has covered man as a physical being, man as a social cultural being, and lastly man as a spiritual being. So he talked in all aspects of the man, and he concluded wonderfully. Man is not a physical entity. Man is not known by his behavior, and he has, as a spiritual teacher, he has talked a lot of things. You understand what a man is. Man is the Jivatma, a part of the Paramatma. So he told us that yoga, the man must be very conscious about what he is. He is not a physical entity. He is not a body of combination of genes only. He has a mind and a spiritual mind, and he is a part of the Paramatma. So yoga, as I understand with his talk, it adds to not only the as yesterday we had manages stress management, the energy management, and the all physical aspects. But now it's a not only the yoga adds to the body, to the physique, to the mind, and to the realization what a man is. Wonderful talk, wonderful talk. Thank you, Hanumanji, for your inspiring talk your mesmerizing talk. And I must thank the all the listeners across the country wonderfully. There are a lot of listeners. I think more than 400 listeners we have today. Thank you, Ajay Babu. Thank you, Basudev Babu. Thank you, Panigre Babu. And lastly, thank you, Manu Didi, for nicely organizing all these things. Thank you, everybody. Over to you.
Now, I request our co-convener of VK ICOM, Professor Basudev Chatoi sir, to do Shanti Mantra. Sir, ଆପଣ ଅନମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ଅଛନ୍ତି sir. Unmute କରନ୍ତୁ.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Now the program comes to an end. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.